All right. Colleagues, let's grab our seats. All right, here comes the bang. Good afternoon, everybody. Here we go. Good afternoon to everybody. Sergeant Arms calls to order. Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to introduce and recognize our chaplain today, Pastor Marcel Jones of Cummings Street Missionary Baptist Church, invited by our very own Councilman Jones. The prayer will be immediately followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Pastor Jones, you're recognized. Please lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you. Eternal Father, we thank you for this day and for your blessings. And we're praying right now that you will bless today's city council meeting and bless these men and women who serve this great city. Praying that you would touch our mayor and his staff and touch these councilmen and councilwomen and their families as they sacrifice for the good of this city. Now grant them wisdom as they work through today's agenda, and then keep them on one accord. Let their decisions consider the least and the left out, the powerless and the forgotten, so that this city continues to grow, communities continue to thrive, and citizens continue to prosper. Make your face to shine on us, God, and your spirit in us. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Jones, you want to go down? All right. Councilman Jones is making his way down.
That's nice y'all have that plastic.
Mr. Chairman, colleagues,
Good afternoon.
Public, the city of Memphis, by the city council, greetings. Be it hereby known that Pastor E. Marcel Jones, in recognition of a life of exemplary qualities, outstanding service to the city, meritorious involvement in humanitarian affairs, and demonstrated concern for governmental processes, has been appointed chaplain of the day by the Memphis City Council, and is hereby entitled to all of the honors, rights, privileges, and prerogatives appertaining to the office, and to the display of this certificate given under the seal on this 19th day of October 2021, signed by Chairman Frank Covette and presented by Martavius Jones. Pastor, thank you for opening our meeting today with your prayer, and we have a token for your a token of our appreciation for it.
All right.
Good to see you.
Thank you, Pastor Jones. Thank you, Councilman Jones. While y'all are getting y'all get a quick picture. Pastor, thank you again for starting us off on the right foot, and let's be ever mindful of what God's teaching is for us as we try to lead the city of Memphis forward. Thank you, sir. Before we get started, colleagues, I'd like to take a moment of silence to honor the life of General Colin Powell, former U.S. Secretary of State, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. General Powell was the first black U.S. Secretary of State whose leadership truly helped shape American foreign policy in the last years of the 20th century and the early years of the 21st century, hence the Powell Doctrine. His family said, "We have lost a remarkable and loving husband, father, grandfather, and a truly great American." This body salutes General Colin Powell as a true American hero. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Madam Comptroller, call the roll.
Councilmember Canale.
Here.
Carlisle. Here. Easter Thomas.
Present.
Ford. Johnson. Jones.
Here.
Logan. Present. Morgan.
Present.
Robinson. Present. Smiley. Vice Chairwoman Swearingen.
Present.
Warren. Present. Chairman Covet.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Madam Vice Chair, have you read our meeting minutes for October 5th?
I have read the minute meetings and find them to be in order. I move for the adoption of the October 5th meeting minutes.
Been moved by Council Lady Swearingen, second by Councilman Canali. Seeing no members of the queue, I assume you're ready to vote on previous meeting minutes. Please cast your votes.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Smiley, yes. Chairman Covet, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Before we get to holds and withdraws, now that we are meeting in public again, just a reminder, if you wish to speak on a specific agenda item, go ahead and see our Sergeant at Arms, Cedric Young. He will get you a comment card. Make sure that you write your name legibly so I can call you out, and also the item number so I know kind of where I'm going with it. Also, if you're not just speaking in general terms, we do open it up for 2-minute comments at the heel of the meeting. Just make sure you note that on your blue comment card. Again, see Officer Young, he'll get you squared away. Also, make sure you get the cards in before I call the case number, and we don't necessarily call everything in order, so feel free to run up there and grab cards. Oh, last but not least, there are no sharing of cards. Everybody that pulls a card gets 2 minutes. Fair enough? All right, moving forward. Held items today, ladies and gentlemen, are items 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 31. So repeating back, items 2, then 6 through 10, and 31. Those items will be held until our next meeting, November 2nd. Also, items 4, 40, 41, 42, and 43 have been withdrawn. That's items 4, and then 40 through 43 have been withdrawn. So if you're here to hear any of those cases, obviously we're not going to hear them today. Do I need to repeat? Everybody good? Everybody's good. Let's roll. Madam Comptroller, call the first item, please.
Item number 1 is a resolution designating October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This resolution is sponsored by Chairman Covet.
Good afternoon, colleagues. My mic on?
It is. Yes.
All right, we're good to go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Elizabeth Ennis. She is with American Cancer Society. This is October, and I love to see all the pink in my group. Thank y'all. I know I texted the group, and thank y'all for responding so strongly. Whereas since 1985, when October was designated as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, this 31-day time period is observed to intensively spotlight breast cancer and the importance of annual exams to help with early detection. And whereas through the educational efforts of organizations like the American Cancer Society, founded for the purpose of bringing attention and awareness of breast cancer and funding research for the treatment and cure, there are significant facts that we have come to understand. And whereas 1 in 8 women in the United States will develop breast cancer in her lifetime, averaging 1 woman being diagnosed every 2 minutes, leading to the designation as the most common cancer in American women after skin cancer. And whereas October is also a month to additionally spotlight the hope that cancer survivors possess, knowing that medical advances, technologies, and drug therapies mean that 63% of breast cancers at a localized stage have a 5-year survival rate of 99%. And whereas since 1993, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer has been the American Cancer Society's premier event to raise awareness and dollars to fight breast cancer, through which nearly 3 million walkers have raised more than $1 billion in funds to defeat this disease across the United States. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Memphis City Council that the month of October 2021 be hereby declared that the Memphis City Council stands in solidarity with those battling breast cancer and those at risk for breast cancer, and throughout our city, the month of October 2021 shall be known as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Adopted, your chairman, Frank Colvett, Memphis City Council, and I so move.
Without objection, so moved. Congratulations.
And this is Ms. Elizabeth. Would you go and share us a little bit?
Perfect. Well, thank you, Chairman Colvett. We just really appreciate your support for the work that we do here locally and across the U.S. Being able to identify this month as Breast Cancer Awareness Month allows us to continue our work, again, locally and across the U.S. and to help save more lives against breast cancer. So thank you.
This is colleagues, I come up to you for 5 years now, and Jeff Warren, Dr. Warren, is ready to back me up. In 1989, my mother was diagnosed. 5 years ago, my sister-in-law, and about 3 years ago, actually cousin, he survived. She survived. My mother survived. And contrary, I think, to Doc's opinion that I was assembled at a secret neoconservative facility out of spare body parts. I know I'm right. Yeah. Ronald Reagan and Abraham Lincoln DNA. My mother obviously could not be with us as it is COVID, and she has a new hip. But I stand with survivors everywhere and these new programs that in '89 there weren't, and she was all alone. So, thank you.
Colleagues, may we stand and show that we too are in support of those who have suffered the cancer, and we are wearing pink today to recognize it.
You know, I don't know about anywhere else in the country, but in the South, you just don't mess with our mothers. I mean, that's just, I get very passionate about that. Okay, let's keep rolling. Madam Comptroller, call item 3.
Item number 3 is a resolution honoring Dr. Thomas E. Motley, MD, for his record of professional excellence within the Memphis community. This resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman Swearingen. It was held from October 5th.
All right, Council Lady Swearingen's making her way up.
I do.
Councilman Jones is a second. We're good to go. Go down to me, take pictures. Go ahead on.
I've done a lot of resolutions, but today, this is indeed an honor. Whereas when worthy circumstances arise, the Memphis City Council has seen fit to honor citizens of this community. The retirement of Dr. Thomas E. Motley Sr. from the world of internal medicine after half of a century representing one of these worthy occasions. And whereas immensely talented and imbued with God-given abilities, Dr. Motley has distinguished himself at every level of his storied career, as he maintained Hippocratic oath to first do no harm. And whereas in doing so, Dr. Motley not only served the needs of past and present Memphians by treating the sick to the best of his abilities, he also ensured the well-being of future citizens by teaching the secrets of medicine to the next generation, regularly mentoring young physicians, commencing work within the community. And whereas upon review, Dr. Motley's record of achievement is rooted in a solid foundation. Born May 15, 1939 in Whiteville, Tennessee, to the Mr. Robert and Mrs. Colleen Elma Motley. He was raised within a nurturing home that emphasized the value of education as an unrivaled path to personal development and self-actualization. And whereas taking his family's lessons to heart after graduating from Palmer Memorial Institute, Dr. Motley matriculated at and graduated from the illustrious Howard University in Washington, D.C., where he thrived academically, receiving the Bachelor of Science in 1960 before completing 1 year of postgraduate work in zoology in 1961, followed by receiving the degree of Doctor of Medicine in 1965. And whereas a scholar and a patriot, Dr. Motley's effort has taken him to a multitude of places. In fact, having served as a lieutenant commander within the United States Navy, Dr. Motley contributed work aboard the USS Yosemite, at the Albans Naval Hospital, and the Memphis Naval Hospital, the New York Hospital, Cornell University Medical Center, the Bronx Municipal Hospital, and Eastmoreland Internal Medicine. Furthermore, as a skilled internist, Dr. Motley has held a variety of roles, which include, but not limited to, medical officer of the USS Yosemite, assistant chief of medicine at the Memphis Naval Hospital, chairman of the Medical Advisory Committee, and medical director of cardiac rehabilitation for Methodist Hospitals of Memphis. And whereas guided by faith and driven to perform at the highest level, Dr. Motley's dedication to his craft, coupled with commitment to enhancing health outcomes for all, have established him as a hero across the city of Memphis. As such, we now wish to celebrate him in a kind beacon of light within our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Memphis City Council gladly thanks and honors Dr. Thomas E. Motley Sr. for his countless personal and professional contributions for over the last 45 years as a doctor of internal medicine. Be it further resolved that the entire Memphis City Council joins with the citizens of Memphis in applauding and commending Dr. Thomas E. Motley Sr. on a career utilized in service to the improvement of mankind. Signed and adopted October 19, 2021, signed by Vice Chair Jamita Swearingen and Chairman of the Memphis City Council, Frank Corvette Jr. Chair, I so move.
Moved, properly seconded without objection.
Dr. Motley, you have been caring for me all of my adult life, medically. You're outstanding because you not only served me in a health profession, but we have become very good friends. There are many physicians you can go to their office and talk to them about anything. Anything. When you share with me that you're retired, it was bittersweet because you've not only taken care of my maternal side of my family, but my paternal side of my family as well. We're gonna miss you. I know I had one of the best doctors in the world. I know you have to enjoy life, but your retirement was as if you were slipping through my fingertips. But since you've been retired, we've still been chatting, and that means much. You let me know you're not letting it go for good. You still will be volunteering your services because you have it deeply embedded in your heart. and you're going to continue to share your gift with others and allow generations to come to grow in the state that you have grown. We appreciate you. I've not gone to a hospital, a doctor's office, or any place in the medical profession where they did not know Thomas E. Motley Sr. God has given you a God-given gift, and I thank you for sharing it with us. I have a resolution to share with you and a token from the Memphis City Council, our appreciation of your years of service.
Thank you. I want to thank Councilwoman Swearingen for this honor. I also want to thank my family for putting up with me all these years. And I want to make sure that I continue to volunteer and contribute what I can to the healthcare of Memphians. Thank you very much for being here with me, family. And thank you again, Councilwoman Swearingen.
Councilman Jones and then Councilman Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm a little envious of you, Councilwoman Swearingen, for bringing this before us, because as a fellow Bison and as a fellow Omega Man, Dr. Motley is a great physician and a great jewel to this community. Dr. Todd Motley, who's his son and who's here as well, he must have picked up his bedside manner from his father, because Dr. Todd Motley is my doctor. And this is one of the ones where you talk about you can go talk to and sit in their office and communicate. You get a random text from your doctor. So Dr. Motley, you have been a gift to this community. We really hope you enjoy your retirement, but you will be missing the medical practice. But I'm glad that Ms. Swearingen and I know that we can call on you and count on you for anything. So enjoy your retirement and congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. Councilman Warren, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, in modern medicine, people have insurance. And often what will happen is you'll have a patient, but his job will change insurance, and all of a sudden he's got to find another doctor. And we come and we love our patients and we want the best for them, but I never, ever, ever had any worry once I knew they were going to see Dr. Thomas E. Motley or his whole crew. He is one of the few and last, as are his daughter-in-law and son, doctors who are doing it all, still going to the hospital, still going to the office and taking care of patients like a family doctor and like a general internist. And we're going to miss you much in our community. I know you're going to be volunteering, and I don't think you're going to be able to really retire because you won't really want to. Go ahead and take a break, and we'll see you back when you're ready. Thank you, Dr. Motley.
Well done. Council ladies, Vice Chair Lady Swearingen, you're recognized.
Yes, I'd like to also share that Dr. Motley is a newlywed. He has with him his wife, Cheryl. Additionally, the boat did not stop there. His son, Todd Motley, is a physician, internal physician, and his wife, Anne Marie, is a physician as well, and they share the office together. So this is a healthy family. Those are one of your jokes, Chair.
I just work here.
Thank you so much for your talent.
Doc, congratulations. A vacation, a break well earned. Ma'am, best wishes and enjoy the retirement. I know it will be brief, actually, from what I've heard. You'll hear the calling soon enough. Okay, my friends, let's roll forward. Madam Comptroller, call item 5, please.
Item number 5 is a resolution approving the closure of a section of Michigan Street between East Virginia Avenue and East E.H. Crump Boulevard This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. It was held from October 5th. The case number is SAC 21-06.
All right, thank you very much. Councilman Canale?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This item was held from October 5th, but Administrator Whitehead is on hand. Should there be any questions or a request for a presentation from Councilman Carlisle? With that, I move it to the floor, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. It's been moved by Councilman Canale. Need a second? I need a second by Councilman Carlisle. I have multiple cards, but let's go through step-by-step presentation. I have a request for a presentation. Administrator Whitehead, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Josh Whitehead, the zoning administrator for Memphis and Shelby County. As I upload this presentation, I'll start talking. This is a street closure for the section of Michigan that is surrounded on both sides by Shelby Electric, which is a longtime property owner at the corner of Main and Crump. This is just between the Crump intersection of, Main and Crump and 3rd and Crump. Both 3rd and BB King and Main go underneath in a subway form under the railroad tracks. Between those two streets is Michigan, and you can see I can not talk and chew gum at the same time. Between those two streets is Michigan, which is a north-south street, and the section to be closed runs from Crump at the south end up to Virginia at the north end. Mr. Chairman, this was reviewed by the Land Use Control Board. It had no objections, so it was approved on the consent calendar, and it comes to you with, I believe, a objection that was not present at the Land Use Control Board, but does have opposition. With that, Mr. Chairman, since I have the floor still, I will show a map real quickly of this area to acclimate everyone to the part of town.
While Administrator Whitehead is pulling that up, I have 3 cards. Why don't we do this as we've always done it? Get in the queue if you want to have some questions of staff. And then once we've asked all the questions of staff, we'll let the folks with cards speak. And then I'll flip it back to council members to close us out. Okay?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to show a map of the area. If you can see, the Illinois Central tracks that goes up to Central Station is on your far left, followed by, as we go left to right, Main Street, the new brewery, Ghost River is there at the corner, and then Shelby Electric again owns properties on both sides of Michigan, highlighted in yellow. That concludes my presentation.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Whitehead. Council Lady Johnson, you're in the queue. Do you have a question of staff so far? Please share.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair, so much for that. My concern is the city giving away the property and these individuals deciding to sell the property down the road. How is the city going to be compensated?
Mr. Chairman, through you to Councilwoman Johnson, the city received this street through dedication. The predecessor in interest of Shelby Electric dedicated and built the street to the city of Memphis at no charge to the city of Memphis. Since we received it for free, we dispose it for free. Conversely, if we purchase right-of-way, then in that street and alley closure setting, we would be compensated. But since we received the land in question without compensation, we dispose it in the same manner.
Okay, so they developed the street, you're telling me, and why did they give us the land?
That is in my staff report. It was a long time ago. It was in the 19th century. But there is a plat of dedication on page 4
They had
of the
to
staff
give the
report.
street in order to get the plat approved, correct?
I'm sorry?
They had to give the street in order to get the plat approved.
So the way in which the platting process occurs is the street is built by a developer, and then, the
That's
current
part of the
way,
process.
we inspect it, and then we allow the plat to be recorded, and that, through the plat, we accept that right of way.
Okay,
Yes.
but happens every day for people who want to develop. So that was a street that we acquired, and it's still city property. And I still have a concern about us giving up property. Then the individual decides to sell it, and all of that goes with the sale, and the city doesn't get anything for it. They had advantage of it being a street. It was part of their plat. So no, I'm going to be against it merely because I don't think we should be giving away city property and don't have any type of possibility of recouping when they sell this property. Thank you, Chair.
All right, thank you very much. Councilman Warren, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's my understanding that at one end of this street, there is a record company that has large records and actually uses this property, and I'm wondering if the landowner has been in contact with the record company and tried to make some sort of accommodation if he does close the street. Do we have any information on that?
Councilman Warren, Isaac Herron is with us, PB&J Towing, and then I think that's just the adjacent property owners. But your question, sir?
My question was, do we have any knowledge as to there was any accommodation tried to be reached with the towing operator by the person who's wanting the property?
Not to my knowledge.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Councilman. Councilman Carlisle, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to be clear on and I recognize the fair market value dilemma. The real question is like, what's a road worth? It's only worth what it's worth to the adjacent property owners, or else there is no value because there's nothing that you can build on it. And then when they sell it, if they were to sell their business and or just the land, they are the ones creating the value to the property. But all of that aside, I think, just for the record, if I'm right here, by state law, we can't, because they built and deeded it to the city for free, we're bound by state law to return it. Is that somewhat in the wheelhouse?
I'm not sure if it's state law or in city charter.
City
yes,
charter,
you're
yeah.
Correct. And one thing I should have pointed out earlier, the city will maintain easements
Right.
within this area because there's pipes underneath that street that will remain. So it will be difficult to ever build upon this section. So the value will be minimal, perhaps forevermore, because it'll be traversed by easements.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. MLGW would have the same, city engineering, all sorts of service. So ultimately, they'll have to maintain, they won't build on it, because if we had to go in and repair a utility line or something, ultimately we'd just go right through their building, which they don't want to have happen. And it goes onto the tax rolls. They've got to maintain the street with our ability to go in for maintenance and anything that we need to do to repair city utilities, et cetera. My only hang up really is I'm torn because I recognize the need to secure the street for their business. They own property on both sides, and they're basically saying, cars are using it, to circumvent Crump and Main. It's like, well, no kidding, it's a public street. Like that's what it's there for. But obviously they're doing it as a cut through, so they're driving 50 miles an hour down there. And also because it's an open, unsecured street, my guess is there are probably break-ins that are occurring too. But I don't love the idea of just closing down city streets either that are near a couple main vehicular thoroughfares for us. So I'm a little torn on what to do. Is the applicant here? Would you mind coming on up here and just kind of, I read your very brief statement of why, but would you just provide a little more understanding of what's going on?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, first of all.
Can I go ahead and get your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Cole Bryan. My address is 11820 Monterey Road, East Tennessee. Our place of business is 96 E.H. Crump. Thank you very much for having me. So real quick, so Shelby has been a member of downtown community for 102 years. Shelby Electric owns both sides of this property from start to finish. along both sides of the road. We are the only place of business on this road. Currently, there is no signage, no stop signs, no crossbars, no crosswalks, there's no handicap ramp on the north side. There's no striping. There's nothing on this road. There are some gaping holes in the blacktop that all of these things we do know are, you're used to seeing that on city streets. 200 foot to the west, there is a major thoroughfare that provides no more or less turns to this place of business with signage, with proper radiuses, proper crosswalks, stop bars, etc. Matter of fact, the existing opening between the Bayou Bridge and the utility pole on the north end of the property is only 15.5 to 16 foot wide. I could easily build a proposal to show the damage to the bridge, the damage to the city poles, the damage to the city fence that these equipment vehicles that come down this road do to city property. So from a major standpoint for us is safety. We have actually literally had employees that have been hit by vehicles. I don't know the average rate of speed on this road, but it is well in excess of what would be a recommended speed limit, but there are no speed limit signs posted on this road. Safety is our #1 concern for our employees. We own all of it, so there's not I understand the business aspect of not affecting a business that would be utilizing the property. Maintenance, we're more than happy to take over the maintenance of the property. The blacktop, the poles, the fence. In our proposition, we are going to put up wrought iron fencing. We've probably spent between $300,000 to $500,000 at Shelby on that very property in the last decade. We're a proud member of the downtown community. Everyone knows where we're at, and you've seen it. I'm sure some people in this room have seen the transformations that we've done to that property downtown. We're not going anywhere. I've got 100 employees I'm accountable to. So maintenance is something we're willing to take over. We've already stated that we'll grant all the right-of-way provisions for the utilities. Theft is another big concern. Any break-in that happens on my property happens off of this alleyway. It is an alleyway between two major thoroughfares. The MLG&W lighting is a concern. Lease lighting, as we well know, goes by the wayside a lot with maintenance, so there's a lot of lights that can be out. That would basically stop this access point for theft and burglary, which has been well documented with the local police that we've had a problem with that historically. Shelby has done everything it possibly can to maintain and improve the property. We are an improver of the downtown community. We always have been. The main business that was referenced that is in discussion has multiple open code violations about the state of its property as we currently speak. I'm a member of the Crump Beautification Committee that we formed for this very topic. That business owner was invited to this committee hearing. We have it every month. Mr. Steve Schuler's there. The mayor's office is represented. This business has been invited. We got one purpose, is to make it safe for employees, take the maintenance off the city, and help beautify downtown, and that's it. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that. I guess, where are we pushing traffic? I mean, it's not that much traffic, but the heavy vehicle traffic, I guess, pushes to Maine or pushes east to, what is that, BB King?
Mr. Chairman, through you to the councilman, we would prefer, from a engineering and planning standpoint, we would prefer to push as much traffic to the signalized intersections of Main Street and BB King as possible, and this closure would effectuate that.
Yeah, and looking from a design standpoint, it's already a T-bone because it closed out Michigan to the north. So I could say we could lease it, but I think I'm with you. I think ultimately this is probably in the best interest of the business, of the neighborhood, safety of the employees. And honestly, from traffic flow, it meets all those criteria. So I'm in support of this, and I appreciate you. I know Councilman Smiley does as well. for initiatives along Crump Boulevard, trying to beautify that. And, my only concern is making sure that we're keeping as much heavy traffic off of Main Street, but I'm not sure that this closure has a massive impact on that. So I'm going to be voting in favor of this closure, and wish you guys the best. By the way, there's a gentleman in the back right there that you can talk to about that MLGW Lease Light program. With that, I yield the floor.
All right. The applicant has spoke, roughly speaking, for 4 to 5 minutes. I have 3 cards. So what we'll do is 6 minutes per side. So applicant, you will have 1 minute potential rebuttal. But we'll go to cards. So 6 minutes, 3 cards. Let's be very careful not to use all our time. Okay, remember you have other folks. Dr. Lynette Williams. May I go ahead? Let's start by giving me your name and address, and we'll go ahead and start a 6-minute clock, and please be cognizant of the time.
Dr. Lynette Williams, 5175 Horn Lake Road, Memphis, Tennessee. And I just wanted to really ask a question. I understand the purpose of this closure. However, with the situation that we have as far as crime here in Memphis, I don't see why we can't engage the city council and the police department to secure your property as opposed to closing a street. Even though you might be in a neighborhood where there's high crime, these kind of things, we need to have another solution instead of closing streets. We'll have streets closed all over the city. And I don't think that's fair to the other people that actually live in the city. The traffic is not high in that area. They have been trying to close the street in front of Methodist Hospital South, and the neighbors do not want that street closed. We'd like to have those options as well. So I encourage everybody to just try to come up with another solution instead of closing a street. I don't think it's fair to the rest of the community and everybody else who lives in Memphis. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Williams. Isaac Heron. And you, okay, Mr. Upton, you're recognized. You have 4 minutes, 52 seconds. You're recognized, sir. You have 4 minutes and 48, but stop the clock, please.
Yes, sir. So the two of us, I'm representing this class.
Your side has 4 minutes and 48 seconds to divide however, whichever way you want.
I'll be fast. Thank you very much. David Upton, 1910 Madison, 38104. I've known these folks a long time. Patrick Lawrence is the owner. I went to high school with him at Central High many years ago, and Isaac Heron works with him. Patrick's on his way. He said, asked me to come down and help him. I went and looked, and my first thought was, at first blush, like the councilman over here suggested, he's on either side of it. Looks like it should be his driveway, till I listened to their side. They've got a record company. They use this street all the time. I'm going to let him tell you a little more about that. They bring long trucks in, and when you come straight in off a Crump, you can dogleg straight into the property. You know, they've been there since 95. They've been using it since that long. That's one of the reasons they moved there, because they knew they could bring those cars in, and you had 3 points of access. What happens is you get, especially on the weekends, when you got Bill Street, you got cruising, you'll have oftentimes Main Street and 3rd are blocked. Because you got all these cars and whatnot. So they regularly bring wreckers, oftentimes bringing wrecks from the city, because they tow for the city, down that street. So they use it quite often. He can tell you a little more about it. It happened, then they have wrecks at those intersections. And so this is an important outlet. And I've got a tape here, if we have any time left, to let you look at it. It's about 45 seconds. And it shows how hard it is to bring a long truck in if they close off the Michigan. Isaac Heron works with PB&J Towing.
All right.
And if you have any questions, we can answer them. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Upton.
My name is Isaac Heron at 1530 Genesis Circle, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm an employee of PB&J Towing. I'm the office manager there, pretty much handle everything. It would be a horrible thing to close this street. This street is actually what we consider a overflow valve. And we learned that when the I-40 bridge was closed, because as you're traveling west down Crump, between Maine and B.B. King, nestled in there is Michigan. So when an accident occurs on that bridge, or when traffic bags up like it did just recently, it bags all the way up It bagged up to Mississippi. I live off of Parkway, and I would literally have to come out and go down to G.E. Patterson, drive over to Mississippi and up just so I could get home. That's how bottlenecked that area is. A lot of people are traveling west on Crump trying to get on 55. And as you're trying to get on 55, you have to swing through 2 lanes of traffic to swing around to get on to 55. And when there's a bottleneck there and there's a wreck or anything, traffic stops. It's bagged up. So people are not driving down Michigan. I work there every day. People are not driving down Michigan at a high rate of speed. There are no large amount of cars coming down now. Since the bridge has been repaired, that bridge was actually a safe haven for us. So to close that street literally makes it hard, because if the street remains open, then vehicles that are caught between Main and B.B. King are able to make that right turn off of Crump, go up to Michigan, make the left on Virginia, and then make that right onto Main and go down to Carolina, and they can go up to Riverside Drive and make the left and get on 55. So that's a release valve for that area. And it would be not in the public's interest to close off that release valve, because if an accident occurs there at Main and Crump, which they often do, people will come around that corner trying to get off of Main on the Crump, and they'll run right out into the traffic that's already traveling down Crump. And when they do that, an accident occurs, and now you still got traffic bagged up between Main and B.B. King. And that street, Michigan, is the only access to clear that congestion.
I do have a 45-second film that shows how hard it is for them to pull in with the long trucks they carry several cars on, where they can come straight into Michigan. And once again, a lot of times this isn't a problem in the daytime, but is it a problem daily? Yeah, because it does get. Is it a particular problem on the weekends, or when there's a lot of cruising and Beale Street and games? Yes. And they have a hard time getting their records in there. And I know, look, this is like being Solomon and splitting the baby. I know it's hard. This is a great company. Both of them are long-time companies. Usually y'all don't close the street down like this and help someone. I mean, it's nice to give someone their private drive. I understand why they want it. There's no question, but it does affect another business, and that's what they're here to say. And it's a particularly, it's a real hardship on them. So thank you much, and we're here for questions, and we can show you this film if one of you wants to see it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Upton. I apologize, just looking at the Google Earth. All right, Councilman Warren, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is there a way we could see that 45-second clip? Is there a way we can see that film? Maybe they can be setting that up while we have a rebuttal from the owner.
I tell you what, let's keep going through. Owner, I'm going to call on you just 1 second. Councilman Carlisle, were you still in the queue? I apologize. I did not see you in there.
I would just acquiesce, like, let's just say it's difficult. I'm not sure we have to see a video on it. So let me address a few things. To the first speaker, one of the things that the police department will tell you is that there's a form of safety called environmental safety. So closing down a small, what is probably 150-foot to maybe 600-foot stretch of a street that T-bones, well, gating it and lighting it would be a safety measure that wouldn't require extra police presence because it's secured and well lit. So that's a tenet of police safety is environmental safety. In urban design, you don't want to close down streets on a grid block, but here's the kicker. PB&J's current lot, Michigan used to run right through it, and guess what? They closed it down and deeded it to that lot owner. So the reason that it doesn't go all the way through to the train tracks is because they already closed the street for the benefit of PB&J towing, just in case anybody's wondering. So PB&J has benefited from a street closure, of a portion of Michigan, and they're stopping another property owner for the benefit to that property owner again. So that doesn't really seem like it's fair to me. The last thing I'd say is that Josh mentioned, and just to reiterate, from an engineering perspective, from a safety perspective, it's better to have traffic filter and cycle through to lit intersections versus trying to speed through or make left or right turns, especially with heavy long trucks that are towing cars in an unlit intersection less than 150 feet away from a lit intersection. So for every single one of those reasons, I will absolutely be voting in favor of selling this. And I just want to reiterate one more time. Michigan was closed down for the benefit of PB&J Towing's property, and now they don't want it closed down for the benefit of their neighbor to the south. Just so we're clear. With that, I yield the floor.
Thank you, Councilman Carlisle. Is the video ready? Go ahead and play the video. Councilman Warren, do you have anything after that? Because I'm going to go to Councilman Ford.
Can I share with you what you're about to see?
You're out of time, Mr. Upton. Mr. Upton, you're out of time.
If one of you all wants to ask me a question, I'll tell you what you're about to see.
Watching the corner, you got to make. You have to get into the tow lot.
Okay. Video done. Councilman Ford, you're recognized. There is a second video. Councilman Ford, hold one. We have one more video. You requested it. All right, thank you very much. Councilman Ford, you're recognized.
Thank you. We held this from 10-5. It was asked that Shelby Electric and the towing company would try to get something together. Did anybody ever meet to try to resolve this? Reason why I'm saying that, Shelby Electric, you've been there. I know what it's all about. But this man is in business too. I don't want to put him out of business also, okay? That's why, did you all ever meet? That's why we held this. Did you or did you not? All I need is a yes or no. Huh?
No, sir.
Okay, we need to hold this until they get together, and then, hey, we can come back in 2 weeks. Hey, but I really need y'all to get together, hey, and see if we do this closure, please make it where it's, hey, he can still be in business also. Try to help him. That's what I would like to do.
Thank you very much. You're going to meet with the other man here within the next 2 weeks. Y'all see if y'all can't work it out. Good, outstanding. Please make sure that you email staff so that Planning and Zoning, Councilman Ford, that's his district, and keep me in the loop on it, please.
The reason why I don't have any problem with closing it, but I don't want to close it and put him out of business. I think y'all can work it out. Whereas, hey, everything will still be fine because you've done improvements and things like that. But see if you can get with him and kind of work some things out, and then when you come back in 2 weeks, we can get all of this done. Okay?
Yes, or do I get that now? Because there's actually some really good valid points in that video that you want me to wait until next week.
Free advice. Councilman Ford asked for the hold. I strongly encourage y'all to trade phone numbers and meet and make sure that.
I just want to make sure I was supposed to comment on it.
No, your answer is yes.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
And I believe, hey, you can get with him and then, hey, see what you can do. And in 2 weeks, hey, we can move forward with this, okay? But hey, that's why we held it, okay? But it looked like nobody got together. And yeah, but I want you to meet one more time, okay? Then, hey, then we'll know exactly what we kind of need to do, because when you come back, and I want you to make sure you get with him, okay? Yeah, don't you get away, 'cause other than that, I'm not gonna think about businesses after that. I'm gonna be favorable for him, but like I said, I'm trying to help you also, okay? So please get with him, okay? Other than that, I don't want you to be disappointed in 2 weeks, okay? Because you might be. Appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. Okay.
Guys, make sure you email the staff. Let us know within the next 48 hours when and where y'all are meeting, please. Just work it out. All right, there being no objection to the hold, this item's held for 2 weeks till the next meeting. Thank you very much. Madam Comptroller, please call the fiscal consent agenda.
That will take us to item number 15, a resolution to accept grant funds in the amount of $20,000 from Tennessee Highway Safety Office through the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security. All council districts, this resolution is sponsored by Police Services. There is a request for same-night minutes. Item number 16 is a resolution to accept grant funds in the amount of $100,000 from Tennessee Highway Safety Office through the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security. All council districts, this resolution is sponsored by Police Services. There is a request for same-night minutes. Item number 17 is a resolution to accept grant funds in the amount of $300,000 from Tennessee Highway Safety Office through the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Police Services. Item number 18 is a resolution accepting grant funds in the amount of $3,000 from Tennessee Professional Golf Association for turf hitting mat at the Links at Whitehaven, Council District 6, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by Park Services. There is a request for same-night minutes. Item number 19 is a resolution accepting grant funds in the amount of $1,000 from Iron Man Foundation for program supplies at the Douglas Community Center, Council District 7, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by Park Services. There is a request for same-night minutes. Item number 20 is a resolution accepting grant funds from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security over a 3-year period for the 2021 SAFER grant in the amount of $10,795,984.20 and appropriating FY22 proceeds in the amount of $1,216,939.95. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Fire Services. There is a request for same-night minutes. Item number 21 is a resolution to accept grant funds in the amount of $2 million from the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs for the Federal FY20 Sexual Assault Kit Initiative. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Police Services. There is a request for same-night minutes. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our fiscal consent agenda items.
Thank you very much, Madam Comptroller. It's been moved by Vice Chair Lady Swearingen, seconded by Councilman Johnson. No members of the queue, assume you're ready to vote on the fiscal consent agenda. Please prepare the screen and cast your votes.
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Colvett, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 50, please.
Item number 54?
50.
50. Item number 50 is a resolution to formally accept $150,000 from Shelby County government for the Division of Public Works to fund a feasibility study for the widening of Holmes Road. Council Districts 3, and 6, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by General Services. There is a request for same-night minutes.
Thank you very much. Councilman Smiley.
Mr. Chair, the committee may recommend approval, and I so move.
Thank you very much. Been moved by Councilman Smiley, seconded by Councilman Carlisle. Seeing no members of the queue, assume you're ready to vote on item 50. Please prepare to cast your votes.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Covet, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 51.
Item number 51 is a resolution to receive and appropriate a Home American Rescue Program funding allocation from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development in the amount of $13,545,982 to the FY 2022 Housing and Community Development's federal budget. District 6, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Housing and Development, and there's a request for same-night minutes.
Thank you very much. Council Lady Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met, received a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
Thank you very much. It's been moved by Council Lady Johnson, seconded by Councilman Jones. Seeing no members of the queue, assume you're ready to vote on item 51. Please cast your votes.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Covet, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 52.
Item number 52 is a resolution appropriating the sum of $2 million funded by GEO bonds chargeable to the FY 2022 capital improvement budget for the South City Project, CIP project number CD 1030, District 6, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Housing and Development, and there is a request for same-night minutes.
Thank you. Council Lady Johnson.
Chair, the committee met, discussed this item, and it received favorable recommendation, and I so move.
Could you do so digitally, please? Been moved by Council Lady Johnson, seconded by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members in the queue, I assume you're ready to vote on item 52. Please spread the screen. Cast your votes.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Covet, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 53.
Item number 53 is a resolution to amend the council FY 22 grant allocations, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Councilman Carlisle, and there's a request for same-night minutes.
Thank you very much. Councilman Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee met, recommends approval, and I so move. Item number 52 is still on the screen, though. I so move.
Outstanding. Moved by Councilman Morgan, second by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members of the queue, I assume you're ready to vote on item 53. Please spread the screen. Cast your votes.
Council members, please cast your votes. Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Council Lady Easter Thomas, also yes. Yes. And Chairman Covet, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 54.
Item number 54 is a resolution to designate and appropriate $19,750,000 in city council initiatives of ARPA funds all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by council members Carlisle, Ford, Canale, Covette, Easter Thomas, Johnson, Jones, Logan, Morgan, Robinson, Smiley, Swearingen, and Warren. And there is a request for same night minutes.
Thank you very much, Councilman Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee met, recommends approval, and I so move as amended in committee.
Thank you. It's been moved as amended by Councilman Morgan, seconded by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members of the Assembly ready to vote on item 54, please press the screen and cast your votes.
Councilmember, cast your votes.
54.
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Covette, yes.
That item passes. Well done, guys. Excellent work. Madam Comptroller, let's call the consent agenda, please. Oh, before you do, staff, unless something else comes up, I've just got all of our same night minute stuff, correct? Outstanding. Madam Comptroller, call our consent agenda, please.
That would take us to item number 11, an ordinance adopting the 2021 edition of the International Code Council International Fire Code, including certain appendices in that code and other local amendments, and amending Chapter 9-36 of the City of Memphis Code of Ordinances. Up for first reading, ordinance number 5808 is sponsored by Fire Services. Item number 12 is an ordinance to amend Chapter 9-40 Code of Ordinances, City of Memphis, so as to adjust inspection fee schedules to reflect changes relative to the adoption of the 2021 edition of the International Code Council International Fire Code, including certain appendices in that code and other local amendments. Up for first reading, ordinance number 5809 is sponsored by Fire Services. Item number 13 is up for second reading. It affects all council districts. Ordinance number 5807 is sponsored by Councilman Smiley, Carlisle, and Warren. Item number 14 is an ordinance amending ordinance number 53, give me a script please, of the Code of Ordinances, City of Memphis, Tennessee, adopted on August 10th, 2010, as amended, known as the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, so as to make certain changes in the districts provided in the said ordinance. Up for first reading, this ordinance is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. The case number is Z21-10, ordinance number 5810. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our consent agenda items.
Thank you very much. It's been moved by Councilman Morgan, seconded by Councilman Jones. Seeing the members of the KS Assembly ready to vote on our consent agenda, please press the screen. And cast your votes.
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Covette, yes. And also Council Lady Easter Thomas for the consent agenda, yes. Chairman Covette, yes.
Thank you very much. That item passes. Please call our MLG&W fiscal consent agenda.
Item number 22 is a resolution authorizing execution of contract number 12290, interlocal agreement between MLGW and the town of Arlington for storm water user fee billing services within the corporate limits of the town of Arlington, Tennessee. Item number 23 is a resolution approving change number 4 to contract number 11594, Power Plan Maintenance Agreement with Power Plan Incorporated in the funded amount of $464,769. Item number 24 is a resolution approving change number 3 to contract number 11933, IVR replacement with DIRAD Technologies in the funded amount of $4,384,271.84. Item number 25 is a resolution awarding contract number 12223, Ergonomics Program to the Institute of Health and Human Performance, doing business as Biokinetics in the funded amount of $115,000. Item number 26, resolution ratifying and awarding contract number 12310, Administration Building Garage Structural Repairs to Zellner Construction Services, LLC, in the funded amount of $1,934,600. Item number 27 is a resolution awarding contract number 12177, Substation Roof Replacement to B4Ply, Inc., in the funded amount of $526,973. Item number 28 is a resolution approving a rate change for the Law of Ogletree, Deacons Nash, Schmuck, and Stewart PC on an as-needed basis at the following hourly rates: shareholder $300 per hour and associates $250 per hour. And item number 29 is a resolution approving an amended rate schedule for the law firm of Butler Snow LLP at the following hourly rate ranges: special $500,000, partner 1 $350 to $375, partner 2 $300 to $345, associate $270 to $295, associate 2 $230 to $265, and paralegal $175. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our MLGW fiscal consent items.
Thank you very much. It has been moved by Councillady Robinson, seconded by Councilman Morgan. I see no members of the queue wishing to speak, so I assume you're ready to vote on MLGW fiscal consent. Please cast your votes.
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Covet, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 30.
Item number 30 is appointments. Item number 30 is appointments. Memphis Convention Center Commission, Isabel Gonzalez Whitaker.
Thank you very much. Councilman Carlisle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee met, recommends approval, and I so move.
Been moved by Councilman Carlisle, seconded by Councilman Morgan. You found a friend. Good job. Moved by Councilman Carlisle, seconded by Councilman Morgan. Seeing no members of the queue, assume you're ready to vote on item 30. Please cast your votes. Looking for a Friend for the End of the World. That was a great movie.
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Covet, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 32.
Item number 32 is a joint ordinance amending the Memphis and Shelby County Building Code so as to adopt the 2021 edition of the ICC International Building Code and local amendments, including certain appendices in the ICC Building Code, to replace an outdated building code and set applicable fees for permits and inspections. Up for third and final reading, ordinance number 5799 is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development.
Thank you, Councilman Canale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met, recommended approval. And with that, I move it to the floor. Director John Zena is on hand should any member have any questions.
All right, thank you very much. It's been moved by Councilman Canale, second by Councilman Warren. Council Lady Johnson, you're recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Can you please help me understand the difference between 31 and 32?
Give your name and address real quick.
33. That's coming up.
We have to adopt these new building codes.
I
John
got
Zena,
you.
Director of the Division of Planning and Development. There are 8 different codes, technical building codes that are administered by the Construction Enforcement Department of my division. Each of those codes regulate different types of construction. So for example, this first one that's up is the International Building Code, and it primarily deals with commercial construction, new commercial construction, essentially anything that is commercial or residential of multifamily and up. So this code, again, deals with new construction of those building types. The next item on the agenda is the residential code, which deals specifically with single-family, duplex, and townhouse development. And in fact, one of the local amendments that we have proposed is for single structures of 3 to 6 units would also be part of this residential code as well. There are obviously, if you'd like, I could go down each one of these in summary, but each one sort of regulates a different type of construction and a different type of improvement that's done in buildings throughout the city and county.
I didn't do that. We have item 31.
It's different.
Huh? Okay. I'm thinking they looking, okay, this is all the codes.
That's right.
Is this the top of zoning more so?
This item deals with construction codes.
What about item number 1? Is that the zoning one?
Item 31, I'm not familiar with what item 31 is.
Okay, I think she's referring to all the zoning text amendments that we held.
Right.
What is that, items like, what was it? 4 or 5, 6, 7, something like that? Oh, it's item 8 and item 9, and I believe item 10. Council Lady, those are the ones where the text amendments to the zoning code are coming up. Unless I'm misunderstanding, all this is, we do this every year. It's for new construction, it's electrical, plumbing, and whatnot, just to bring us all up and our requirements up to international code.
That's correct. It has nothing to do with zoning.
Okay, same way we did with the fire department earlier.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, thank you, but I was thrown off with about 31, so it has to blend in some type of way. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Good to go. Council Lady Logan, you're in the queue, recognized.
Thank you, Chair. And I just want to make certain that none of these are changing any of our approval levels or anyone having to come before the council for anything.
No, Councilwoman, no. It does not. Okay. In fact, this would be for anything that has pulls a building permit. And so we actually have a grace period for projects that have their building plans underway already under the older versions of the code, so that we're able to review them, continue to review them under the older versions. But it would not impact anything that it comes before the council. Anything that comes to us for a building permit has already gotten their zoning approval through council if that's required.
Okay. So if they didn't, we've had some issues in the past that they didn't get the building permit and went on and started building and all that, they had to come to us. And is there anything in here that could change any of that, or affect any of that, or correct any of that?
So in the past, where we've had cases where a property owner has started construction and it has to come back to you, when it comes back to you, it's because there's a zoning violation. And so now the property owner is in trouble in 2 ways. They're in trouble with conducting construction without a permit. So that's on the building side, but then they're also in trouble with respect to zoning, and that's when they have to come to you in order to get their zoning approval in place.
Okay, I was just hoping that there was some stronger language in there that could correct it when they go to get building permits, because my thoughts, like I had a situation in my district, so how did they get a building permit, how did they get these permits or get things passed, like engineering, electrical and all of that, when they didn't even have a permit?
If you were referring to the auto sales, there were no permits on that. So they did not get a permit for anything before they started that work.
I mean approvals, like on their electrical, how did they?
They didn't.
Oh, okay.
They just did the work. They just did the work.
Okay.
Very
All right.
illegally.
Thank you. I yield back, Chair. That answers my.
So Councilman Carlisle does a new project. He's going to be up to speed with electrical and plumbing as per the internationals. Yeah, he's good to go. Seeing no other members in the queue, I assume you're ready to vote. It's been moved by Canali, seconded by Warren. Cast your votes.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Covet, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 33.
Item number 33 is a joint ordinance amending the Memphis and Shelby County existing building code so as to adopt the 2021 edition of the ICC International Existing Building Code and local amendments. Up for third and final reading, ordinance number 5800 is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development.
Thank you very much. Councilman Canali.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee met, recommend approval, and I so move.
Been moved by Councilman Canali, seconded by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members in the queue, assume you're ready to vote on item 33. Please prepare the screen and cast your votes.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Covet, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 34.
Item number 34 is a joint ordinance amending the Memphis and Shelby County Residential Code so as to adopt the 2021 edition of the ICC International Residential Code and local amendments. Up for third and final reading, ordinance number 5801 is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development.
Thank you very much. Councilman Canali.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met, recommend approval, and I so move.
Thank you. It's been moved by Councilman Canali, second by Council Lady Johnson. Seeing no members of the queue, I assume you're ready to vote on item 34. Please prepare the screen, cast your votes.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Covet, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Please call item 35.
Item number 35 is a joint ordinance amending the Memphis and Shelby County Building Code so as to adopt the 2021 edition of the International Energy Conservation Code and local amendments. Up for third and final reading, ordinance number 5802 is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development.
Thank you very much. Councilman Canali.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met, recommend approval, and I so move.
Electronically, please. Moved by Canali, seconded by
Warren. Seeing no members in the queue, I assume you're ready to vote on item 35. Please spread the screen. Cast your votes.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Covet, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 36.
Item number 36 is a joint ordinance amending the joint electrical code of Memphis and Shelby County so as to adopt the 2020 edition of the National Electric Code with local amendments and setting applicable fees for permits and inspections. Up for third and final reading, ordinance number 5803 is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development.
Thank you very much. Councilman Canale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met recommended approval, and I so move.
Been moved by Councilman Canale, seconded by Councilman Carlisle. Seeing no members in the queue, assume you're ready to vote on item 36. Please spread the screen and cast your votes.
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Colvett, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 37. Yes, ma'am.
Item number 37 is a joint ordinance amending the Memphis and Shelby County Plumbing Code so as to adopt the 2021 edition of the ICC Plumbing Code and local amendments to replace an outdated plumbing code and setting applicable fees for permits and inspections. Up for third and final reading, ordinance number 5804 is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development.
Thank you, Councilman Canale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met recommended approval, and I so move.
Thank you. It's been moved by Councilman Canale, seconded by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members in the queue, I assume you're ready to vote on item 37. Please spread the screen and cast your votes.
Council members, please cast your vote. Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Colvett, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 38.
Item number 38 is a joint ordinance amending the Memphis and Shelby County Mechanical Code so as to adopt the 2021 edition of the ICC International Mechanical Code and local amendments to replace an outdated mechanical code and setting applicable fees for permits and inspections. Up for third and final reading, ordinance number 5805 is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development.
Thank you very much. Councilman Canale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met recommended approval, and I so move.
Been moved by Councilman Canale, seconded by Councilman Warren. Seeing no members of the queue, I assume you're ready to vote on item 38. Please cast your votes.
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Colvett, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 39.
Item number 39 is a joint ordinance amending the Memphis and Shelby County Fuel Gas Code so as to adopt the 2021 edition of the ICC International Fuel Gas Code and local amendments to replace an earlier outdated fuel gas code and setting applicable fees for permits and inspections. Up for third and final reading, ordinance number 5806 is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development.
Thank you very much. Councilman Canale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met recommended approval, and I so move.
Been moved by Councilman Canale, seconded by Councilman Carlisle. Seeing no members of the queue, I assume you're ready to vote on item 39. Please spread the screen. Cast your votes.
Canale, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Colvett, yes.
Thank you very much. That item passes. Call item 44.
Item number 44 is a resolution to allocate and appropriate 2021 reducing diesel emissions for a Healthier Tennessee funds from the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation in the amount of $205,000 to be used for partial funding for the purchase of 4 ambulances with idle mitigation systems. This affects all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Fire Services.
Thank you very much. Councilman Warren.
Yes, Mr. Chair, the committee met and recommended approval, and I so move.
Thank you very much. It's been moved by Councilman Warren, seconded by Council Lady Robinson. Seeing no members of the QOC, be ready to vote on item 44. Please spread the screen and cast your votes.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Colvett, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 45.
Item number 45 is a resolution appropriating $400,000 for GS 22300 Convention Center cover line for continued improvements and enhancements. District 7, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by General Services.
Councilman Smiley.
Sir, the committee met recommended approval, and I so move.
Thank you very much. It's been moved by Councilman Smiley, seconded by Councilman Carlisle. Seeing no members of the QOC, be ready to vote on item 45. Please spread the screen and cast your votes. Y'all getting the screen up faster than I can say it.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Colvett, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 46.
Item number 46 is a resolution to appropriate FFE funds for PK 22101 Community Center Park Furniture, Fixtures, and Equipment in the amount of $200,000. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Parks and Neighborhoods.
Thank you very much. Council Lady Logan.
Thanks, Chairman. The committee met, recommended approval, and I so moved. And I will do so.
Been moved by Council Lady Logan, seconded by Councilman Carlisle. Seeing no members of the QOC, be ready to vote on item 46. Please spread the screen and cast your votes.
Council members, please cast your votes. Yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Colvett, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 47.
Item number 47 is a resolution to appropriate funds, park cover line architecture engineering fees for project number PK 22102 in the amount of $200,000. This affects all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Parks and Neighborhoods.
Thank you very much. Council Lady Logan.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met, recommended approval, and I so moved.
Moved by Logan.
Moved by Council Lady Logan, seconded by Council Lady Johnson. Seeing no members of the QOC, be ready to vote on item 47. Please cast your votes.
Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Colvett, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 48.
Item number 48 is a resolution to appropriate construction funds for sports lighting installation, project number PK 22104 in the amount of $200,000, District 2 and 4 super districts, including 8 and 9. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Parks and Neighborhoods.
Thank you very much. Council Lady Logan.
Yes, Chairman, thank you. The committee met, recommended approval, and I so move.
Been moved by Council Lady Logan, seconded by Councilman Morgan. Seeing no members of the QOC, be ready to vote on item 48. Please spread the screen and cast your votes.
Canali, yes. Canali, yes. Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Johnson, yes. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, yes. Robinson, yes. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Colvett, yes.
Thank you. That item passes. Call item 49.
Item number 49 is a resolution to set a minimum hourly pay rate for EDGE pilot projects. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by Councilman Jones.
Thank you very much. Councilman Ford, you're recognized.
Thanks, Chair. Committee met. There was unfavorable recommendations on this particular item, but I'd like to move it to put it on the floor.
All right, Councilman Ford has simply moved it to the floor, seconded by Councilman Canali. Councilman Jones, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to hold this item, please.
Okay, before I get a second on that, I do have two cards. Would you like to hear the cards?
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and hear. We have 2-minute comment cards before we vote on the hold. Otherwise, I'm going to hear them right at the end of the healing meeting. All right, Joe Kent. You are many things, sir. Entertaining is one of them. May I go ahead and you have your name and address? We'll start your 2-minute clock at the moment you finish that.
Joe Kent, 5111 Flamingo. In your committee testimony, you had it backwards. You should have had taxpayers represented in Ted Townsend in the chamber outside. Follow my logic. From the state control report, I take the municipal county with the most pilot parcels other than Shelby and Knox at 68. Then I fight to consider the other status pro incentive side. Due to population versus Shelby, I double Knox pilot parcels and come to 140. Then for Shelby being a poor county, I allow for 40% more pilot parcels and come to 200. 200, not what we have in 450 to 500 Shelby County pilot parcels. And that pilot approval pace continues to today. To acknowledge Councilman Morgan's TIF point, Davidson County has more TIFs. It is about $7 million more per year. So add 15 pilots to Davidson's 35, you're at 50, and adjust the pilot for population, you're at 75 pilots. And we're not even considering total wage growth, which would favor Davidson, to which I avoid direct comparisons. Nobody can defend 450 pilots parcels and developers, the chamber, or elected officials. I am for Councilman Jones' job pilot reform measure. You also need to consider the abatement of existing taxes as well. As far as real estate pilots and the pilot extension funds, Wagner Place at $100,000 per space, and the mobility center should not be built. As the centrally located 250 Peabody garage sits wholly underutilized at 25% capacity during peak time. Not developing these will save Memphis Shelby taxpayers $70–80 million over 25 years, or an average of $3 million per year. The elitists owe taxpayers $1.5 billion. And this is not a product. This pilot stuff is not a product of Amazon or IKEA, which you see all the time. It's a product of FedEx, Nike, AutoZone, and real estate developers here locally. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kent. Next we have Brent. My bad. Thank you, Mr. Kent. Next we have Brandy Higginbotham. Are you here still with us? Going once. Twice, sold. All right, I have a motion on the floor to hold for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Do I have a second? Is there any objection to a hold for 2 weeks? Sir?
Why for 2 weeks?
Yes. Colleagues, we only heard from one side of this argument in committee. That was from the business community, that was from the Chamber of Commerce, who is paid by businesses to do this. So I thought it would be for us to hear both sides for it. I'd like to request a hold so we can hear both sides of this argument.
Who's the other side?
All things being
I yield to...
Time. Sorry,
Mr. Smiley.
All right, I have a motion to hold. Do I have a second on the hold? Second on Smiley. So we are in discussion. I've recognized you. Are you done?
Well, I was just, and I'm not trying to be catty here. I'm curious who you are going to bring to present to represent the other side. Okay. That's all.
Well, Mr. Smiley offered to speak.
Mr. Smiley, you recognize.
Yeah. So, colleagues, I think about, I don't know, whatever day the vote was, I think 2 weeks ago, I will butcher her name and forgive me. Professor Elaine Del Vega reached out to me one of the moments of my time, made a presentation before me. It wasn't directly on point, so I asked her to amend the presentation and present it to this body. I don't think it would be burdensome on this body to listen to what some folks consider one of our experts as relates to these issues. You all know I love a good argument, and I think it's fair and right for us to at least give her an audience so we can determine whether or not we made the best decision.
Very good.
All right, thank you for that response. I'll say this to the whole then. So I've heard Ms. Del Vega's argument. I've read what she's had to write. It is literally on the same tone, and that's fine if that's what the body wants to do. This has been dragging out for weeks and weeks and weeks. And when you create an uncertainty in the marketplace, it does damages to the business. I will just restate two very simple things. The longer this drags out, the harder it is for the chamber to work with businesses. And I know exactly which business Mr. Townsend was referencing here locally that's black owned and wants to expand with millions of dollars of investment and will not do that. And I can tell you one thing for certain in business, that time kills deals, period. So if you guys want to drag this out for 2 more weeks because you think it may actually change your mind, that's fine. If you want to be nice about it, that's fine. But know this, you're putting businesses in harm's way. And you heard from the 3 most important people for economic development in our city tell you very clearly that this will do nothing but harm businesses. So make a decision today, but stand behind it. If you want to take 2 weeks because you actually think it has merit and it's going to change your mind, that's fine, but you're going to put businesses in harm's way. If not, then we need to go ahead and vote this down and dispose of it and let people have certainty that the programs they're looking for are going to be available to them.
Thank you very much, Councilman Carlisle. Councilman Morgan, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm opposed to this hold today because I think it's in the best interest of the city of Memphis, its citizens, that we go ahead and vote this down today to eliminate that uncertainty. And we do talk about the value, and the risk that this puts to businesses, but that's important because those businesses are employing people in the community. And we talk about that employment as the opportunity to lift people out of poverty and to give them opportunities to succeed. I think the arguments have already been hashed out for the most part on this. I'm always open to listening to more, but I just don't believe in this instance that we're going to hear or learn something different, an argument that hasn't already been made that's going to have an effect on individual council members being able to come to the decision that this resolution is maybe the worst economic development idea I've seen in 6 years from this body. And I believe other council members are there. I think we should vote this hold down today, and I think we should vote this resolution down today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Morgan. Councilman Jones, you're recognized.
Thank you. Ms. Carlisle, as a black business owner, I don't think that anybody can, Mr. Ford is another black business owner, but I think that I can say that I'm probably the most vocal champion for black businesses amongst us, as one.
I don't think so.
Well, you might be another one, but I think for us to hold this and to hold out this for the sake of one black business, I don't think that that's the case, because what we're doing here, what we need to create the environment for more than black businesses, whether they come and ask for a pilot or not. We have not done that. So I'm going to read Reggie Williams, who works at Yakazi Warehouse on Holmes Road, said that back when he made $13 and his wife was pregnant, he was constantly having discussions with her about when exactly certain bills were due and whether or not he could work overtime to pay them. The lights got turned off a couple of times. It was rough. Now making close to $21 an hour, Williams said that he never stresses when he receives a bill and he's even able to take his wife on vacation. Like I said then in committee, all of us got up here saying that we want to do things better for the city and for the citizens here. I never made a campaign rally cry to say I'm going to do what's best for businesses. I don't. So, I know there's certain council members that represent the business community. I will cast my vote every day and every time for the people. And that's what I'm doing with this. And I encourage my colleagues to do the same in this whole, to hear both sides of it. We talk about experts. We heard about experts from the business community. We didn't talk about people on the ground I'd love to have Mr. Williams in here to come here, talk to us, look at us face to face, and tell him to continue to incentivize poverty wages. We heard, I try to be as data focused and data driven as possible. The rate that we have right now is still closer to what the rate is for one individual with no dependents. That's what this is all about.
Apologies.
No, I'm done.
Watch the phones, okay, guys?
Mr. Chair, may I respond since I was addressed in the comments?
You were addressed, so therefore you may respond.
First off, I represent everybody in the city of Memphis, and I take huge issue with that. And let me be abundantly clear. It's businesses that employ people that put money. We can have a conversation about trickle-down economics when it talks about federal governments and large corporations and shareholders, but it is trickle-down economics when you have a small business that employs 50 people that puts food on the table for them. And that's exactly what these programs are here to do. So some implication that some of us are for business and for the people is honestly, it's going to irritate me to the point where I'm going to try to hold back being incredibly angry. That implication for me is far beyond anything that I've ever done here. I'm here to advocate for what's best for this city. And that's one of the beauties of actually being a super member district is I don't get down into the weeds and worry about what's mine is yours. My hand is on what I think is best for the city. And what I do know is where my depth is and isn't. And so when my depth is not in the field that I don't understand, I certainly go to the experts. Ted Townsend is probably one of the foremost experts in this part of the country in economic development. And by the way, we've had 3 months to have people come in and give the, quote, other side of this thing. And here we are ready to vote, and it's like, oh, well, we need to hear from the other side. I'm tired of hearing the same arguments over and over. We've held this and held this and held this. There's been ample time to prepare your argument. You're making the same argument over and over again. If I have to hear the McDonald's argument about starting wages being at $17 an hour, I'm going to cry because it's not. It's actually $10 to $12 an hour with shift leaders and managers starting at $17, but I haven't wanted to say anything. It's time to dispose of this. I'm just tired of hearing the same argument over again and implications that some people are out for some big business smoky room deal. That world doesn't exist. There's no smoky room. We're all out here trying to do the best job we can for the people. Now we can agree to disagree on what that may be, and I'm fine with that, but don't dare imply that some of us are out to make people millionaires and others losers.
Councilman Smiley, you're recognized.
Councilman Carlisle, I love the passion. That usually sways a jury. But I'm going to keep it real simple for me. I think I've been pretty consistent on my love for good arguments. But, here we've heard from the Chamber of Commerce. We heard from Ted Townsend. We heard from a lot of individuals who were in support of leaving the wage standard the same. This is not Councilman Jones's argument. We wouldn't, I can't say we won't, but this is not about Councilman Jones speaking to McDonald's wages. This is about someone who has years of training making a pitch. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure if it would sway how I voted on the last time, but I think to be fair, we should at least give an opportunity to make a presentation before our body. I've seen countless of comments that scrutinize this body's decision to vote down $21 an hour floor, and right now I still stand by that position. I believe bringing jobs to this community is more important than doing anything differently now, but to tell, an esteemed member of our community that you can come present, make an argument, I think this says, it sends a message to this community that we are a body unwilling to hear from everyone. Let her make a pitch, give an opportunity to potentially sway some votes. I'm not sure if I'm going to be swayed, to be honest with you, but I do think we should give her an opportunity to make a pitch, her and her colleague. That's one of the reasons I'm in support of this whole, give an opportunity. We wanted to vote it down again, we voted down again. We spend hours and days and weeks debating things less important than this. 2 weeks, it may hurt one deal, possibly, but I doubt it. Give it an opportunity.
Careful.
That's all.
All right, thank you. Councilman Warren, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't really have a problem with the thought concept of making a minimum floor for an EDGE project. The problem that I have with this is the timing. We have a certain time frame that businesses who are trying to come here and use this particular program know about. We set a rule and it's got a 2-year time frame or a 3-year time frame, and then we make more rules and we give the next set of rules that we're going to go forward with. So my concern is in the middle of a situation where people have been given a set of ground rules by which to work, we're changing the ground rules. And I think that is not wise in any sort of business program or any sort of development program. You set it up, you go by what you've got going, and when it's time to change it, then we have this debate, and then we vote on it. So I'm not, thinking that what Councilman Jones is bringing up is not something I want to vote for and that I wouldn't vote for in the future. I just don't think we should be doing it now. And the reason I don't is we have people from the chamber and from EDGE come and let us know what people who are looking at the projects that they're wanting to bring in now are saying. We're going to have this come up next year. And when it comes up next year, that's the time that we set our new rules in action and we move forward with new rules. So I am not going to vote for the hold because I think it's the wrong time to do it, and I think we should give the business community a set, idea that we said we were going to do this. We're holding to our word. Now, when we make the next set of rules, we're going to hold to those too, and they may be different. But the rules we have now are the rules we're going to follow to the end of this project or the end of the time frame of the EDGE contracts here. And so for that reason, I would urge my colleagues to vote no on the hold, and let's have this discussion at the correct time, and let's do a change then. And let's hear from other people at that point in time, not now. And I yield back, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilman Warren. Councilman Morgan, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To the earlier point, the only people that really get hurt if this passes is the workers, not the businesses. The businesses will be fine. They'll invest their capital somewhere other than the city of Memphis. Or maybe there'd be a business here in Memphis that wouldn't be able to expand, and so they would be hurt. But what you do is you take leverage away from the worker when you remove job opportunities from the community, because now they have less opportunity to be able to leverage a different option, a different job with the business that they're currently with. When the worker has fewer options, that's going to encourage businesses to be able to pay less. And look, we're trying to recruit different businesses here. We hope the businesses that are here are going to expand, but there is a whole large section of businesses that are here in Memphis that don't apply for pilots, and they're always hiring and continuing to try to grow. And now with less job opportunities in the community, if this were to pass, they have the leverage to pay their employees less because their employees have less options to move, less mobility in the marketplace. So it's the workers that get hurt by this passing, not the businesses. The businesses will be fine. They'll invest somewhere outside of Memphis. And I think the sponsor of this resolution has had plenty of time. They've known about this. They wrote it and authored it and introduced it. If there were arguments to be heard that they wanted introduced, we have had months to do that. And we just can't let this continue to drag on, this uncertainty in the marketplace. Let's get this done with tonight.
Thank you very much, Councilman Morgan. Councilman Canale, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Colleagues, I see Mr. Dolberger sitting in the back. I don't know who his successor is going to be, but you can rest assured that one thing will happen if we pass this. His successor will have a lot less work to do because most of the deals will be dead before they get here. So just consider that when you consider, and when you go out and tell your constituents that you're helping bring jobs, better paying jobs to Memphis, you're doing the exact opposite. You're going to kill them before they ever have a chance. So just think about that. We need to vote on this today, and we need to vote it down.
Council Lady Johnson, you're recognized.
Yes, let me make sure I'm understanding, Chair, what's being talked about. You're saying that if we hold this item for 2 weeks, we're going to lose jobs or companies coming to this city. Is that the understanding that I'm receiving from this council?
Council Lady, it's basically, what I hear is basically two things. It is,
excuse me?
Council Lady, from if I could project, it is basically two things. By delaying this, okay, we continue with uncertainty in the market and potential developers, potential companies coming this way, okay? Does it kill a deal? Well, even if it kills one deal, I mean, they're all in secret. We may or may not know about it. But if it kills one deal, that just killed jobs. So I think at the end of the day, where I'm understanding the opposition to the hold is that basically we've talked about this enough. I think and I'm guessing just from hearing all y'all pretty well locked in. So I guess where we're coming from is, do we hold it to hear yet another expert who, and I use air quotes because I don't know these people, or do we vote on it tonight? Just, again, I would submit that the votes are locked in.
I have a question. Is it possible for this new person to come in and speak to us during committee meeting, or would it be at this time? Okay.
The concern I have with that, Council Lady, and I was going to save my comments, but the concern I have, Council Lady, is the signal we're sending. I believe that this is a job killer. The moment we set that, we have so many limitations on our pilots at this current juncture that people are going elsewhere, taking their businesses elsewhere. So by leaving this potential out there, if we even did pass it, all we're doing is hamstring our ability to recruit jobs here, okay? So at the end of the day, what we're saying is leaving that uncertainty out there to the developers that we meet with, we talk to, the professionals that do this for a living. They're all telling us this is a bad idea. At issue, though, to be fair, is do we want to hear yet another expert? And I think the opposition is basically saying, no, we heard enough. I guess that's it in a nutshell.
Yep, basically, I guess that's what I'm hearing, but I'm also hearing that we have some colleagues who still think additional information would be beneficial overall. So I'm saying even if we voted it down, long as we did not do same night minutes and we have this individual talk to us during committee meeting next time, then we can bring it back up on the floor and vote it again if we so desire.
That's an excellent strategy. So what you're saying is we just listen to the whole answer. We could vote against the hold. Vote on it tonight. Instead of same night minutes, we'll hear it in committee in 2 weeks. And if somebody wishes to bring it back to the floor, we can. So in essence, we don't hold it. We vote it up or down tonight. We still hear that person, that expert, whom I do not know, in committee in 2 weeks. And we can bring it up on meeting minutes when we start the meeting.
Okay, well, that's a suggestion I would like to make, but I just need to be guaranteed that it will come back in committee.
Okay, I'll guarantee you that will happen.
Okay.
But what we're saying is vote against the hold.
Yes.
All right, so that's Council Lady Johnson. Council Lady Logan, you're up.
Two things. I know I heard my colleague Councilman Carlisle say that he's already heard the lady that he wants to bring or read her information. I haven't heard of her before, and I would like to hear some other information just to make certain that I'm fully understanding. And number two, I don't know that we have looked at every aspect of it because I've spoken with the chamber and I've spoken with some people at Edge as well and concerning this, and no. I think I heard Councilman Jones say, well, maybe $21 wasn't the golden number. Maybe there is something else. Well, my thought was, I don't think we've explored enough we do want to have a higher wage in our city, and we do want those companies that are getting incentives to be the ones to, you know, that we impose that on or that we recommend that to. But there are some that would be hurt drastically by that. And so maybe we could look at it as a certain percentage, you know, a certain percentage or a certain revenue level. If your company is a certain revenue, then you have, you know, you look at it as a certain number of jobs pay 21%, pay $21, a certain percentage. You may have a certain percentage that you pay 15 and a certain percentage that you pay a different level. I don't think it has to be all or nothing, but I don't think we have looked at everything at this point. We're just saying it's either 21 or it's nothing. But there are options that it could be. And if you have companies that have a small revenue, no, I don't think they should have to pay the 21. But if you have companies that have a large revenue, they may be able to do that. But is there a way we can look at it and be creative as opposed to just saying all or nothing? So we may need to discuss it more and have other opinions come in. I yield back, Chair. So I do think we should hold it to have more information or to look at it in a different way.
Chairman, please vote.
All right, I see no other members in the queue. This is special item 1. The motion is to hold. The motion is to hold by Councilman Jones, seconded by Councilman Smiley. So a yes vote holds us for 2 weeks. A no vote pushes us to this main motion, and then we debate that. Everybody clear? Yes vote holds. No vote puts it on the floor right now. I got what I need. Cast your votes. All council members, please cast your votes. Call it.
Canale, no. Carlisle, no. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, no. Johnson, no. Jones, yes. Logan, yes. Morgan, no. Robinson, no. Smiley, yes. Swearingen, yes. Warren, no. Chairman Colvett, no.
All right, the motion to hold fails. Back to the main motion, item 49. I don't recall who moved it, but we are in debate on that. I believe it's moved by Councilman Ford and seconded by Councilman Canale for discussion. Councilman Jones, you are in the queue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Johnson, you asked for this to go back into committee regardless of the whole. So I'd pull it. I'd like to pull it, and we just have it in committee.
Okay.
So you pull it in what?
And have it in committee?
Alan, okay, what I've got, we're on the motion. The maker of the motion, actually, Mr. Ford was the maker of the motion. The author of the resolution wishes to withdraw his resolution, and I would assume bring it back up in 2 weeks because his hold failed. Can you do that? Well, his motion to hold, Counselor, failed.
Right.
So he's withdrawing the item, even though it wasn't his motion, so that he can bring it up again in 2 weeks after his expert. Now, as I understand it, though, it becomes a brand-new resolution, which means we would hear it in committee, and it would be yet another 2 weeks before we voted on it.
So the item's been withdrawn completely?
Well, not the maker of the motion. The maker of the resolution wishes to withdraw his item, his resolution. He's not the maker of the motion nor the second.
I don't know how it changes what's on the tape.
Right, so the author of the resolution cannot withdraw it.
No, the item is still on the tape.
I got it. Okay, so we are back and on the table. You cannot withdraw it. Councilman Jones, do you have something else to add?
Yes, so how do we resolve the fact that this has been requested by a council member to be held in committee in 2 weeks?
Direct answer to that is we vote on it tonight, but we're not voting on same night minutes. The minutes of this action will be voted on in 2 weeks.
But in council meeting, but I'm talking about.
In council committee, you can have whatever the committee chairman wishes to hear in that committee. In other words, they could hear whatever expert they want. If whoever it is, someone wishes on the prevailing side to bring it back to the floor when we go over previous meeting minutes, you can. Hang on one second. Councilman Jones, are you done?
Yeah.
All right, I got to go through the queue. Let me get through Mr. Carlisle, and I'll get to Mr. Ford. Mr. Carlisle, you're recognized.
Defer to Councilman Ford as the maker of the motion.
Outstanding. Councilman Ford, you're recognized.
All right, what we need to do is vote on it right now. We just voted. We need to vote on this. Ms. Johnson asked to go back to committee. That's my committee. We can see that in 2 more weeks, okay? We're not going to vote for same night minutes, okay? Let me just say this too. I'm in business. Probably been much longer than you, okay? You can't tell me what to pay somebody. Private.
No, you cannot.
You can't do that. Yes, you're gonna lose everybody. I have about 40-some employees myself. I pay them well. Some I don't want to pay well because they're not worth it.
Amen.
I pay them, I believe, more than $21 an hour. I've been doing that for a long time. Some are not worth $10 an hour. I've never fired anybody. They fired themselves. But they sometimes kind of be like a cat. You feed it one time, it'll come back to you. He's yours. We need to be for real. Okay, you got McDonald, all these others, like what he was saying. Hey, you can't tell people now. If it was city-wise, yes, you can make that motion $21. Everybody need to make that. Okay, that's us. We can make that rule regulation, but we really can't tell anybody else what to do. We already have ran quite a few people away. We don't need to run no more away. You know, that's why we just a little bitty country town in between Mississippi and Arkansas that makes all the money. If you really want to know, okay? So let's just be for real. So let's vote this on up, and in 2 weeks, hey, you can bring whoever you want. And when y'all make the agenda out, hey, make sure whoever wants somebody to come and talk, we're gonna have the time. If it takes 2-3 hours, okay, put everybody else to the side because we need to finish this. Let's move on, okay? We waste too much time unnecessarily. Okay, we got a lot of other things to do, and this is the end of the year. Ain't too much gonna be going on because everybody's gonna be Halloween dressing up, and then Thanksgiving and Christmas, so it's over. You can't get nobody to come to work anyway, you know. And hey, we're trying to do something. All you have to do is just ride down the street, and everybody got a sign now hiring. Don't nobody even want to go in, okay? And some of them jobs that's now hiring is $21 plus, and they still don't want to come in. So we need to do what we can, especially with edge and what we're dealing with here. We need to move a little further. So we need to do the voting.
All right, thank you, Councilman Ford. Seeing no other members in the queue, it was moved by Councilman Ford, second by Councilman Canale. Assume you're ready to vote, and let's make sure we're clear on this. A yes vote is in favor of item 49, which is to set the minimum hourly pay. So a yes vote sets the minimum hourly pay at 15. A no vote is against setting any pay on pilots. Clear? Right.
No.
Right. A yes vote votes to set a minimum hourly pay on pilots. A no vote is against that. Clear? Cast your votes.
No.
Everybody voted? Show the screen.
Canale, no. Carlisle, no. Easter Thomas abstained. Ford, no. Johnson, no. Jones, yes. Logan, no. Morgan, no. Robinson, no. Smiley abstained. Swearingen, yes. Warren, no. Chairman Colvett, no.
Madam Comptroller, change Vice Chair Lady Swearingen's vote to an abstention, please.
So noted, but
All right, that item fails. Staff, does that take us through our book of business? We're good to go. All right, Sergeant at Arms, do I have any cards? No cards, good to go. Same night minutes. Madam Vice Chairman, you're recognized.
special item birth.
The same night minute items are 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. I so move.
Thank you very much. Been moved by Vice Chair Lady Swearingen. Hit it again real quick. Been moved by Vice Chair Lady Swearingen, seconded by Council Lady Easter Thomas. Seeing no members of the queue, assume you're ready to vote for same night minutes. Please cast your votes.
Councilmember, please cast your